Good evening, Taki traders. The talk of today is about the latest oil trades and what's coming up in the next 24, 48 hours. As you can see from the charts that I put in front of you, oil's had this nice rally and it's finally had this little bit of correction, which was to be expected. There's no way it was just going to keep going up and up. Brent hit that $70 sort of psychological barrier. Is that enough for the sellers? I mean, look, it's still a deficit at the end of the day. Oil is going to keep going up. What price do you get in? What profits can you make? Do you short? No, not for me. Not a market like this. But now I just want to bring up on some things. If you're trading with me, I trade on plus 500 for oil. The contract expires Thursday. So I want to see what happens after that, and I really think that there is some really good money to be had on Friday. I normally don't get in the market ahead of the weekend, but Friday I want to position myself, check out the fundamentals, see what's going on. But I just think at the moment that at the end of the day, there is a deficit. There is more demand than supply. Inventories are being drawn on for crude. Now, yes, things like gasoline, the inventories are up, but oil is much more than just being pumped into gasoline refineries. So let's just have a look at WTI for the moment. It's had this nice, and I'm actually happy seeing this downward trend. This is what I was waiting for, something to bring it off the boil. This is just profit takers. This is people probably positioning themselves before the contract expiry. Once that rolls over, this is a healthy thing in a market like this. And if you even look down here, the volume is not that epic. So to have a drop like that, it's only dropped back to $64. It's only about a dollar drop. Friday, to give a price point of where to enter, it's hard to say. I need to see what happens on Friday, but I'll be comfortable getting in. If the price even goes as low as 63.50 and under, to me that's a buy. Considering the current climate, 100%. My predictions always could be wrong. I think there's going to be an increase in oil rig count from America. They're already pumping record amounts of oil. I think that increase in the rig count will scare some people off a little bit. And then next week, there's going to be some common sense where for America, shale oil, which is the big sort of respondent barrier to the prices going higher, this is not going to be an overnight fix if you believe there's a problem. This is something that could take a few months to fully get into the supply chain. Venezuela is finally picking up some supply as well, but I mean, I think their drop at one stage was 50,000 barrels a month less, and it was month on month, so it's cumulative. So when people say they see Brent over 70, Merrill Lynch, I think, or one of the big banks was saying that they're sort of expecting around $74, and that's an average price. So to see it's at 80 and comes back is not abnormal. So overall, I am bullish on oil. I think it's crazy not to be. And basic supply and demand even dictates that it has to be a bull market at the moment. But where you enter is fully going to depend upon your profits, and of course proper equity capital management is going to make sure that if it does dip down, you're going to ride that out before it goes up again. So here we are, nice drop off. I expect it to come down tonight some more. That's WTI. We're going to go over to Brent, and very similar. Now, Brent and WTI don't always follow each other, but at the end of the day, there's been sell-offs. Again, the volume is not that massive at the moment. It's midnight here in Australia. Why sleep when the markets are happening? Normally, I find the 4-hour chart starting from 1 o'clock. That's when I find a lot of the volume can happen as well. So at the moment, just keep that in mind. Depends what you're trading on, but if you are trading on a platform that has expiry contracts, just be aware it's going to change. And I actually think that's a good thing that the contracts come over, and then Friday could be a good time to open the market. If we have a quick look at the euro US dollar, because there's a number of issues with the oil at the moment, not just the supply demand, also the fact the US dollar is in the dirt. Euro US is still going up. I did not expect it. I really thought there'd be some sort of quite decent correction. When that's on the 1 day, I should probably change something to the 4 hour, so it makes a bit more sense to. I mean, that you can love or hate Trump, but at the end of the day, the US dollar, when the economy is steaming ahead, when the share market's doing so well, that you would think that people, even though with the share market doing good, that people would be putting money and buying US dollars. Just not happening. So make of that what you will. So I think, not think, nothing's guaranteed, but to see the oil market have a massive, even going to a slight bearish, I just don't see it. To me, this is healthy healthy repositioning of traders in a bull market such as this. And then I think once Brent, let's go back to Brent, I think once Brent recovers and breaks his 70 mark, I think that's when you're looking at 71, 72 to steamroll up. Of course, there's going to be a ceiling on it, but I think the ceiling's going to happen when production increases and it properly comes online. Not just oil rig count increasing, but proper oil delivery is actually up there. So that's oil. And then I want to talk to gasoline, because even though oil for me at the moment is bullish, waiting for this contract expiry, gasoline, I've trade on plus 500. The contract for this doesn't expire for a week and a half, so it's been a pretty safe short for me at the moment. Around $1.84 was when I shorted, sorry, $1.85, and then it's come back nicely, which is what I expected. Again, gasoline does depend on the oil price, but gasoline also depends on inventories, and inventories for gasoline are up overall. Demand is a little bit higher, but nothing too crazy. So I've been in a nice little short position of gasoline that I'm in profit with, but I mean, we're on the 4 hour, we're going to zoom out. Again, like oil, it's an upward market. If you're going to short this like me, short it, make your profit, get out. But at the same time, I can't long it, only because even though the fundamentals of oil dictate a larger oil price, demand and inventories for me don't dictate as much of a rally on gasoline, and I'm just unsure which way gasoline is going to go. If oil prices spike up a lot, gasoline will as well. But if they sit around where they are, gasoline is easily going to short, and that's going to be the story there. And I'll just cover natural gas quickly. The contract for expiry for this is coming up soon. It's already dropping off. I think there was a massive draw in inventories. Inventories are down for natural gas, but I wouldn't short or long at the moment. I want to see what happens. If it gets up around that $3.40, 50 mark, for me that's a short. Definitely once the contract expires and we're getting into those warmer months for America, I'll probably be short on natural gas depending on the price, because just the demand, and even though there's been a few bright spots for the bulls in natural gas at the moment, there hasn't been any not massive news that makes me go it's going to be a prolonged rally. And with all this production of oil, it means the production for natural gas is up as well. So at the moment, the main thing is waiting for these contract expiries to go through in, what are we now? About 48 hours or so. And then on Friday, I'll check the position, see what goes on, and maybe hold a position over the weekend or wait till Monday. But more than likely, I'll be happy to get in. The oil rig count, the demand, and the inventories are going to be the main things I'm going to look at, and then decide the position from there. And hopefully, you do the same.